imposing steep tariffs. Not only um, is he indicating to Russia that if a deal isn't made within 50 days, that tariffs will be 100%. But he's doing it with most other countries that letters were sent out. I think it's just a bargaining point. And of course, in the case of Russia, it might be a little bit different because we're not talking about tariffs on imported goods, but rather on the war factor. So it's a question now whether or not Russia begins to think seriously on ending the war in Ukraine. And so, the more pressure that Trump puts on Russia, along with other European nations, I think the greater the chances of some sort of a truce may happen. And let's not forget something very important, that the Russian economy is in dire straits. So he really can't afford steep tariffs, nor can he afford more sanctions. So there's a possibility that some sort of a truce could happen within the next 50 days.
A truce could happen over the next 50 days. Hi, Peter. This is Kanishka also joining in. Now, keeping it with the tariff space, I wanted to understand your view on the tariffs that are that will be imposed starting August 1st on EU and Mexico as well. You did previously say that tariffs at these levels are unlikely to be implemented, but that August 1 deadline is looming. So do you believe a resolution will be out before that, or do you think these tariffs will be implemented at these levels?
Yeah, well, again, if I heard the question correctly, because the audio is not that great, the situation with Mexico, is like every other nation. However, Mexico did say that they have a contra plan, and of course, we'd have to see what this contra plan is all about and whether or not the administration accepts it. But I believe that there will be some sort of deals I believe there'll be a deal with Mexico along with other major nations. It's just a question of what type of a deal. Do I believe that these steep tariffs that President Trump suggests that will be implemented on August 1st go through? I don't think so. I think there'll be much less. And then, of course, there's the question of whether or not, they will be met with a surge in tariff inflation. In fact, today we will be getting some inflation news, that is the CPI, and there could very well be some hint of whether or not inflation is beginning to emerge from some of the tariffs.
So that's as far as tariff and its impact on inflation is concerned. But he has also made some comments on tariff on Russia and secondary tariffs on all those countries who buy Russian energy. Do you think this is merely a threat and Trump is using it as a negotiating tool, or perhaps could it translate into something concrete?
Well, no, I think it's a combination. I think it's a negotiating tool, and I think it's also a way of Trump trying to bring together the trade war and lessen its burdens and its burden that could have on the global economy. So far, we haven't seen any evidence of inflation popping up anywhere. We saw numbers out of India which suggest, inflation continues to move lower. And I think it all depends how steep these tariffs are going to be. So far, the higher end of the tariff scale is just a threat, and we just have to wait and see whether or not they will be imposed or whether or not they will have an inflationary impact. But again, I think that they're just negotiating starts, and that most nations will work out a deal, and whether or not we get 10% or 6% in tariff implementation of tariffs is yet to be seen, but some sort of a deal will be worked out. I don't think that Trump will go ahead with these steep tariffs.
Okay, so as far as the impact of tariffs is concerned, thank you so much, Peter, for joining us this morning and helping us decode the global market setup. On that note, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks.
All right, then let's move on and take a look at all the stocks that we should be keeping